umnumzana uNtanzi-ke weza-ke wathola ithuba ukuthi azoma kuyona le ndawo omi kuyona-ke wayitshela le nkantolo ukuthi okwakhulunywa uZungu kwangasilona iqiniso ukuthi wayekhona ehostel nokuthi wambona ehostel eshintsha ihoodie emnyama egqoka ihoodie egrey.
Are you with me?
Uhamba nami?
Yep.
Yes.
And furthermore, so sorry, my lord.
Keeping quiet, I don't want to interfere.
Yes.
I read what relevant evidence is. I don't know if you were listening to me. I gave you the definition of what. Maybe we should read it again. Because unfortunately this trial is beset by people who know the law better than this judge. Now I want to quote what I read about irrelevant evidence. It's on section 200. You can take it. I said irrelevant evidence is inadmissible. No evidence as to any fact, matter or thing shall be admissible which is irrelevant or immaterial and which cannot conduce to prove or disprove any point of fact at issue in a criminal proceedings. If you listen to that, I'm just keeping quiet. Because examining Warrant Officer Ndlovu about what is supposed to have been said by another witness. Is that admissible?
My lord.
No, I'm asking.
It is not admissible.
Of course. Why should I waste my time and say,
yes,
Ndlovu, whatever Ndlovu can say, you can say that witness danced the Boogaloo dance.
But may I respond, my lord?
No. It's not admissible. You know that. If
yes,
you know that,
yes,
know that I'm not going to take it into consideration when I write the judgment. Like asking this witness to comment on what Zungu said. So what?
I mean that.
But if you listen to the description I gave about irrelevant evidence, which is not conducive and is immaterial to prove anything, if you read your Criminal Procedure Act concerning evidence, you will know that.
My lord, let me briefly respond so that it's on.
Yeah, fine.
When the state made an application to recall this witness, on my head I said this is irrelevant evidence. I said so. The state is dominus litis. They've gone on this trajectory, and if I sit down, my fear is this: later on they'll say I never crossed on this and I let it slide.
Yeah, not this judge.
Yes. So I may leave that because I knew that this is irrelevant evidence.
If you listen to the evidence which I read to you, Dr. and Mr. Baloyi, I read that, and then I also read what Torpedo and Panza says. He says the word relevant meant that any two facts to which it is applied are so related to each other that according to the common course of events, one, either taken by itself or in connection with other facts, proves or renders probable the past, present, or future existence or non-existence of either. Clearly, then, the question relating to relevance may not be resolved by resorting to juridical formulae, but rather to reason and common sense. For as Schreiner said, who I said it would have been our Chief Justice, observed relevance is based upon a blend of logic, experience, lying outside the law. So when, and I saw his expression, because he's an experienced warrant officer, when he was asked to comment on what Zungu said.
Exactly.
Yeah, he knows. I mean, Zungu,
yes.
Because me, I'm an analyst.
Yes.
But I let it pass because I'm told I'm interfering.
And I also objected at the beginning of the evidence in chief. I said, we are only calling this respectable gentleman for this. Then he was led on what Zungu, Mohola, whoever. There were three passages that he was he was
Okay, fine,
referred to
yeah.
to read.
Let's
my
go
lord.
on, sir.
As the court places, my lord. I mean, that's it for it.
Lenkulumo-ke ibimayelana nemibuzo-ke ufakazi ayihlonywayo-ke ukuthi-ke utshelwa ngokuthi uZungu washo lokhu, uZungu akazasho lokhu. Ithi inkantolo-ke bikwenzile lokhu ngaphambilini ukuthi ifundeke kuwona umthetho yona le ncwadi iphethe laphayana ukuthi-ke ubufakazi lobu obungahlanganeke naye ufakazi lona-ke ngoba yena ubizelwe isizathu esithize ukuthi manje asatshelwe-ke ngobufakazi bakhe-ke uZungu akusona-ke into leyo noma-ke into inkantolo ezothi-ke inakeke nokuthi-ke ikhulume ngayo-ke nasegcineni-ke uma uphothula lona-ke icala leli uyavuma-ke naye Mr. Damsipile uthi bekuyinto ayishilo naye-ke ekuqaleni leyo kodwa-ke umbuso uqhubekile wakwenza lokho.
Now, warrant officer, let me move on to this aspect. The last photographs on pages 17, 18, and 19 of Exhibit DD4B. Now, these are the photographs that contain the depicts Mr. Sibia, who is accused number 1, and the last one, it's firearms and bullets at the back. You remember that?
Yebo ngiyakhumbula-ke le ithombe ngikhuluma ngazo lezi ey'ntathu-ke zokugcina ey'mbili-ke zinaye-ke umnumzane uSibiya bese kuthi-ke esokugcina ilesi esiney'bhamu ney'nhlamvu.
Now, on this one, Mr. Ntanzi instructs me as follows, and that should it be necessary for him to testify, he will come and tell this court regarding these three photographs as follows.
Uthi-ke umnumzane uNtanzi uma isidingo singakhona-ke mayelana nale y'thombe lezi ey'ntathu-ke uzoza azosho lokhu okulandelayo.
That he does not know how the photos of Mr. Sibia, that the photos 17, 18, came to be in his SD card, as he did not share photos with Mr. Sibia.
Ukuthi-ke akazi ukuthi kwenze kanjani ukuthi iy'thombe lezi ey'mbili zakhe umnumzane uSibiya zibe khona-ke kwi-SD card yakhe ngoba akaze-ke badluliselane iy'thombe yena naye umnumzane uSibiya. I'm listening.
Okay. And furthermore, that he does not even want to proffer an explanation in this court as to how they ended up in his SD card, as that will be later on be held against him. So he does not know, and he doesn't want to prefer a speculative answer on this aspect.
Nokuthi-ke akafuni nokuthi-ke achazeke ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani ukuthi iy'thombe lezo zibe khona-ke kwi-SD card yakhe ngoba yinto leyo isingasetshenziswa-ke manje-ke ngakuyena, ngakho-ke uthi-ke akazi nje ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani ukuthi zibe laphayana iy'thombe zikaSibiya. I'm listening.
And regarding photograph 19, the one with the firearms and the bullets, it says he has never downloaded photographs of this nature in his cell phone or in his SD card, and as such, he does also don't know how this ended up in his SD card.
Nokuthi futhi-ke mayelana-ke nesithombe lesi sokugcina u-19 ilesi-ke esiney'nhlamvu kanye futhi-ke nazo iy'bhamu naso-ke leso sithombe uthi akazi ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani-ke sibe kuyona-ke ifoni yakhe noma-ke i-SD card yakhe nanjengoba futhi engakaze adownloade lesiya sithombe. I heard you.
That will be my interaction with you on these photos 17, 18, and 19.
Ilokho-ke ngakusho kuwena-ke mayelana nale y'thombe lezi-ke u-17, u-18 no-19.
Now, regarding the balance of the photographs, Mr. Ntanzi does admit that the person depicted there on, it's him.
Mayelana-ke nezinye iy'thombe lezi-ke uyavuma-ke uNtanzi uthi yebo umuntu loyana ubonakala kuzona uyena.
And the features, as you place them on record as well, those are his features as depicted on those photos at the time they were taken.
Naloko kushilo okuchazileke uthi ubona lokho kwisithombe nalapho ke uyavuma ke ukuthi yebo impela ke uyena loyo futhi naloko kushilo ukuthi ke ikona okubonayo ezithombeni.
Now, Warrant Officer, you've testified that you have analyzed, I'm not sure where, did you also do the downloading or you only did the analysis?
Ingabe ukudownloada nakwakwenza okanye kwaba nje ucwaningo kuphela ianalysis right?
Did you do analysis, sir?
Wenza ucwaningo wenza
No, my lord.
I was listening. This old man listens. He says he never did any analysis.
I explained.
Ngichazile
Into engayenza i-extraction yale CD esikhuluma ngayo la.
what I did was the extraction of the CD that we are talking about here.
And then mangikhumbula kahle izolo ngibuza ukuthi ithombe le album ya prepare bana I said akusimangazi.
And yesterday I was asked as to who prepared the photos as well as the album, and then my response was I don't know.
And then ukuze ngize la bengicabanga ukuthi ngizobuzwa ngeauthenticity yale CD engiyenzile.
Coming here, I was under the impression that I would be asked about the authenticity of the CD that I cut or that I made.
And then no confirm ukuthi lesithombe njengoba bayenzile analyst la is the ones ezikule extraction engiyenzile of which yilokho engikwenzile.
And also be asked about the photos that are here, whether are the photos which I did an extraction on, which is what I did.
So nami ngathi sengiyadideka manje ukuthi kahle kahle ngisiwaphi.
I'm also now getting confused as to where exactly am I being taken to.
So owami umbono engawusho la kunkosi yenkantolo.
My viewpoint, on my view, what I can convey to the court,
Engicabanga ukuthi sengishilo i-extraction yami ukuthi ngiyayiqinisekisa ukuthi iyo njengoba injalo.
that I do confirm that my extraction is indeed, in other words, it is the confirmation of my extraction.
Engingana nkinga mangabe bafuna ukuyiconfirm whoever angeza ayiconfirm esibona ukuthi iyamatcha yonke and then into engishoyo.
And I also don't have a problem that whoever would like to see that or to come and confirm that as to whether indeed does it correlate or does it match, or whether it is what I am saying.
Izolo ngiphinde ngabuzwa futhi nge-chain of evidence of which ngiphinde ngayichaza futhi njengoba iphelele so angibonanga nine challenge kuyo.
Yesterday I also explained the chain of evidence. I also did not see any challenge in it.
Manje ngaloko bengicela inkosi yenkantolo naye ikubukisise lokho ngoba ukuthi ngiloku ngiyale nale kube i-chain ayini challenge i-data yami ani challenge and then nami kuyimi niyangidida.
I would like the court to also look at that, because if my chain or the chain of evidence, my chain of evidence is not being challenged, my data is not being challenged, so I am also now getting confused.
Warrant Officer, let me tell you, if I was supposed to applaud in court, I was going to applaud you, because half of, in fact, my whole cross is gone. This is the same objection that you are now raising to me, that concern. And I'm going to reiterate that ad nauseum. I said so when an application was made to call you. What are you being called here for? The persons that called you here, their heads now are deep in the books.
Uma bekuwukuthi ke la inkantolo ngiyakwazi ukuthi ke ngingashaya ke izandla bengizokwenza ke ngoba lokho kushoyo.
I'll withdraw that. I'm withdrawing that, man.
Hello, doctor, what was the word? I didn't hear it properly.
No, I said their heads are in the book. They are facing down.
Hands your what?
Their heads are in the books. They are
In the books?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
I didn't use any swear word, man.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I've withdrawn that, my lord. I know the procedure. So, Warrant Officer, I was baffled, and I'm making this a statement. It's not a question to you. I was baffled when you were asked about the O-type, beard, and what other people said, and what do you see about the features? Because I knew your work. I know this line of work a lot. I knew your work was to do exactly what you came here to do, to put the chain of evidence on record, to speak about your extraction, logical, physical, and then go home. Then when you were asked about the O-type, that makes me here to stand as well, to go on to these pictures and ask you O-type. You are a facial identification expert. And on that note, I'm going to release you from my cross-examination because it is not your forte about the O-type, what Mohula, what Madala, whoever said. So my lord, I'm done with this cross-examination. That's the basis.
Doctor, any re-exam? Oh, sorry. It's Mr. Msori Mumalu. You're supposed to cross-examine first.
Thank you, my lord. I have no cross-examination.
Said you did
Thank you.
not. Yes, ma'am. Sure, no?
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Ndlovu, I have very few questions for you, just for me to understand the relevance of your evidence.
I mean ngike imibuzo enginayo kuwena-ke ukuthi nje mina-ke ngizwe noma ngikulandeleke ukuthi-ke ubufakazi bakho-ke buyini noma buthini.
I understand you have confirmed that you are not the one who prepared the photos contained in Exhibit DD 4B.
Ngiyakuzwa-ke ukuthi-ke ushilo ukuthi akusuwena-ke owahlanganisa iy'thombe lezi ezikuyena Exhibit for DD 4B. That's correct.
But you were led by the state through the content of this exhibit. Am I correct?
Kodwa-ke umbuso-ke ukholileke noma amagama-ke ukhulumile nawo-ke ukhombisa kona-ke u-Exhibit DD 4B lona. That is correct.
And we have confirmed the content of this exhibit in line with the information that you had in your USB, which you led this court through the screen that is before this court.
Wase uqinisekisa-ke lokhu okulana ngokuhambisana-ke ne-USB lena wena-ke i-USB yakho le uyikhombisa-ke inkantolo la. That is what I did.
Because you have led evidence regarding that, therefore I am going to ask you the questions regarding your testimony about this exhibit and what we have testified on the USB.
Ngoba-ke wethule ubufakazi-ke mayelana nalokho ngizokubuza-ke imibuzo mayelana nalokho kanye futhi-ke nobufakazi bakho mayelana nayo i-USB. Fine.
Okay, thank you. My first question is, are you a facial identification expert?
Ungabe uyena yini ungoti-ke ekuchazeni ubuso noma-ke uchaza-ke ukuthi ukuthi i-identification yobuso, i-facial identification expert? No.
And also we are not experienced in that department.
Futhi-ke isipiliyoni awunaso lapho. That's correct.
Okay. Then my second question is, you gave the dates on which the pictures contained in Exhibit DD4B were taken. You remember?
Uyakhumbula yini ngoba unikeze ngama-dates-ke ukuthi iy'thombe lezi ezikuyena u-DD4B zathwetshulwa nini?
Yebo.
Yes.
You'll correct me if I am generalizing wrong, but from these few pictures, you testified that they were taken in 2020. Am I correct?
Uzosho-ke uma kuwukuthi-ke lokho ngikusho-ke wrong noma-ke kuyiphutha-ke kodwa uma wethula ubufakazi ushilo ukuthi iy'thombe lezi-ke ezango-2020.
Njalo.
That's correct.
And none of the pictures that you referred this court to contained in these exhibits were taken on the 26th of October 2014.
Asikho nesodwa-ke isithombe kule ithombe-ke othule ubufakazi ngazo kulona-ke izibiti leli ezathwetshulwa ngeyi-26 October 2014. That's true.
And you further testified on the deleted pictures.
Ubethulile-ke ubufakazi nangey'thombe ezadilithwa.
Njalo.
That's correct.
And in your testimony, you said when you are using your XY X-ray thing, when you are retrieving the information, you are able to deter even the pictures that were deleted. Is that correct?
Ushilo ke nokuthi uma ngabe ususebenzisa yona ke noma sothi XRY noma ke X-ray ukuthi uma ususebenzisa yona ke uyakwazi ke nokuthi ke uthole ke izithombe lezi ebese icishiwe. That's correct.
No. So actually, scientifically, that can't be true. Something which is deleted, and I'm using it as an adjectival noun as used by the advocate. She says you are able to retrieve the pictures that were deleted. You understand the statement?
Uthi ke uadvocate umekhuluma ke ukuthi ke uyakwazi ukuthi uyibuyisele uyithole futhi ke izithombe ezideletiwe.
Ngiyasizwa istatement sakhe njengoba izolo ngichazile masikhuluma ngezithombe njengalesithombe lesi engithi masidilitiwe la. It's just a thumbprint ukuthi isithombe it was there. It's already deleted. There's no information on that photo.
That's it.
Yiloko ngikushilo ke na izolo ke ukuthi ke iyatshengisa nje ukuthi isithombe sasikhona ke lapho.
Yeah, but textually it shows a copy at the least of what was deleted. Not the original. Yeah, I want to be precise in my thinking.
Ngifuna ke ukuthi ngisho lokho ke okushiwa ukuthi ke kuyicopy ke akusona ke isithombe lesi ebekuyisona ke kodwa icopy yaloko ebekade.
Because if this case goes somewhere else, somebody else will say.
I am not fighting with you. Please don't be emotional. I'm not fighting with you. I'm just clarifying the evidence what we have said. That's why I said correct me if I am wrong.
Ngisanike nawe ngizocela ingakho ke ngishilo kwena ukuthi uma kuwukuthi ke ngenza iphutha ke ube uyise uyalungisa ke manje angilisani noma angixabani nawe ukuthi nje ngifuna nje ukuthi ke kube ngicacele.
Nami ngiphendula umbuzo wa.
I am also responding to a question that I'm being asked.
Okay. So let's reduce emotions. I understood you to say even the deleted pictures through your machine, you are able to retrieve. You have now clarified the manner in which you are able to retrieve, that you can only be able to retrieve a copy of that picture.
Bekuyindlela ke mina bengikuzwe ngayo ke ukuthi ke uma ke isithombe sesicishiwe ke noma sideletiwe ke nakho ke ukuthi usibuyisele kodwa manje usuyachaza ke ukuthi uma ngabe usibuyisela ke noma usithola futhi kuyisube kuyicopy lokho. I heard you.
Okay. So in other words, what you shown before this court, it was not the real picture, it was a copy because the original had been deleted.
Okushukuthi ke lokhu okutshengiswe khona lapha noma evezwe khona lapha ke bengasona ke isithombe original noma ke uqobo lwaso ke kodwa ke i-copy.
Ngizophinda ngichaze.
I'll say it again.
Lento uma ngabe isithombe esidilitiwe is just a print ekhomba ukuthi isithombe besila and then sideletiwe. Yingakho singana the information engenzansi ukuthi asithethwe nini and the stuff.
What you see there, it is just a copy, which is an indicator that the photo was there. Hence, we do not have the information underneath that guides us and tell us as to when was it taken and stuff.
Okay. Thank you. So it means even your XY ray formats that you use to retrieve the deleted information could not you could not get the information as to when was the original picture taken.
No, I'm sorry, just something I just got a note, my lord, so I just missed the question. There's an interpreter that is not, the court is not proceeding in GA. Can I quickly attend to that? Just 5 minutes, my lord.
Okay, fine.
My apologies.
No problem.
Me and you, one thing we must discuss about the science relating to drone machines. Do you have any inkling about them?
No, my lord.
You don't? Okay, now I was just fascinated by the fact that Ukraine apparently using drone technology destroyed about 50% of the jets of the Soviet Union when they were parked. And those drones penetrated an area of about 5,000, between 2,005 and 5,000 kilometers into the Soviet Union. You read about it?
Not yet, my lord.
Yeah, I found it very interesting because the Soviet Union also has what it names a defensive system which would shoot any projectile which goes above a certain height. You're aware of that? Like Israel, for instance, when the Hamas or the Hezbollah sent a spate of rockets, they use a concept in defense called the umbrella defensive strategy. And they normally pick up the rockets as they are going towards Israel through sound, light, and as you were calling it, coordinates. So that science interests me because, yeah, sir, what's happening?
Now, my senior just went to court
Oh, okay.
to sort that thing out, so I'll be standing in.
Is the gentleman not present there?
It's the lady female interpreter. She's not yet present.
Because she said she's going to be late or not.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So are you going to take over now?
For now, my lord, yes.
Any objection for the interpreter to be substituted during the trial?
No objection, my lord.
Okay.
No objection.
All right. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's continue then. You are duly sworn. I know that.
Yes,
As,
my lord.
as an interpreter.
Yes, I do
Fine,
confirm
okay.
that, my lord.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Ndovo, I'm going to repeat the question again so that you can answer. I didn't catch up the answer because the interpreter was disturbed. Okay?
Bathe bazophinda babuze umbuzo futhi ke mnumzana uNdlovu ngoba kade ukudlule kokhona la ngekho.
My question was that the deleted pictures, even when you are using the X-ray format that you were using to retrieve those pictures or copies, you also could not deter the date on which those deleted pictures were taken.
Bathi mana nodaba lweyithombe lezi abayicishile sebayidilithike ngegama lesingisi-ke uma ngabe uyibheka bokungekho ukhona ukubona ilanga le abayithwebula ngazo.
Yeah, unjalo.
Yes, that is correct.
And you also could not deter the date in which those pictures were deleted.
And futhi bongaboni ilanga la bacishe ngazo ke izithombe lezo noma ilanga lela badilithe ngazo ithombe.
Yeah, unjalo.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And then the next question that I'm going to ask is about the observations that you gave regarding the content of the face that is depicted in these pictures.
Wathi umbuzo olandelayo abazokubuza wona umayelana nodaba lesikhangiso sobuso ke lobu kade bukhuluma ngako noba kade ukhuluma ngako ke uqhamuka kule ithombe lesi.
Okay.
I'm listening.
I know firstly that you are not an expert, but as an adult person, I'm going to ask you this question.
Athi ke unalo ulwazi lokuthi wena ke awuyona ke ingcaphephe noma uchwepheshe ke lapho ke kepha ke uzokubuza lo mbuzo olandelayo njengomuntu omdala ke.
The pictures depicted in this exhibit DD4 depicting a picture of a person with an oval beard that we have described before this court.
Bathi ke ithombe ezikhona ke lana ke kulombukiso ka exhibit DD4 kunesikhanyiso somliso thizeni futhi umliso thizeni okhona ojakala kule ithombe lezi ke intshebe yakhe kusho ukhathe njengo O shape.
Yes.
Yes, I'm listening.
So even that explanation that you gave to court of the description of the oval bed and the description of the hood and the hair that were appearing in some of the pictures. You understand?
Wathi kumuza bona nodaba lwehudi futhi nangendlela umuntu akhona egunde ngayo ke intshebe yakhe sibathi O shape ke loyo ke futhi nangendlela lakade egqoke ngayo isigqoko kule hood yakhe yakuzwisisa lokho. Yes, I'm listening.
You cannot be able to tell this court that this is the picture that resembles the person during the period of October 2014.
Bathi angeke utshele inkosi yenkantolo ukuthi ke lesithombe salomuntu okhona ngalana ke isithombe sifanca machine nomuntu kade akhona ke ngelanga lange 26 zaka October ngomnyaka 2014.
Iqiniso eliphelele.
That is the honest truth.
Okay. Thank you. And also the fact that I'm going to accept the date that we have testified about here in this court to say these pictures were taken in 2020.
Athi uzolamkela ke ilanga lebokhulume ngalo ke ngesikhathi ukuthi ithombe lezi ke bayithwebula ngomnyaka ka 2020.
So also as a human being you cannot then say because these pictures this person looks like this during the period of 2020 when these pictures were taken, it means resembles the same features of the pictures of the same person during the period of October 2014.
Now the witness is invited to argue. It's an unfair question to the witness. Let's go, please.
My Lord, I did not hear the basis for the objection.
Just repeat your objections.
Counsel is inviting the witness to argue the case for the state.
Yeah,
Let it be for the
okay.
state to argue,
All right.
not for this witness to comment.
As the court pleases, my Lord. My Lord, if I may respond, it's because the witness was taken through the pictures, if I may be specific, my Lord, and not be general. Through exhibit DD4A, with the comparison of a picture, my Lord, which was of an identification kit, which was taken in 2014, and the witness was led regarding these two pictures, my Lord.
What does it say about the one picture which was in the identification parade? This witness, what does it say about it?
My Lord, the witness was asked to give description of these pictures to say
Not the clothing or the apparel.
Yes, to give the identification of these two, and the witness even
Is it
said
the clothing or the facial?
he
Because
gave
you're arguing that he's not a facial expert.
both, my Lord.
Facial.
Yes, my Lord.
And then the apparel also, he's not an expert on identifying apparel.
Apparently.
Yeah, put it to him.
No.
When you say wearing a toga or a robe which is gray and red,
Yes.
he's putting it to you that you're not able to identify that.
No, my Lord, but that's not my question for now. For now. my
I
Lord.
thought you said even the apparel, you can't be able to identify it.
No,
I
my
see.
Lord. No,
Okay,
my-
fine.
My Lord, I was responding to the objection, my Lord, to say the reason why I am entering into this field of evidence is because the witness had been asked to comment on these pictures, my Lord.
Yeah, fine, go ahead.
Thank you, my Lord.
Kade kuza kumeli mana nodaba ke lesithombe ke ngamashi lapho sikhona ke lapho kumbukiso ka DD4A lapho kade khona ke isithombe sathubulwa ke lapho ke esikhona ngaphakathi kwale kit kade ke khona nje umuntu kade ejakala ngendlela lena ke ngonyaka 2014 futhi bekabuza kofakazi mana nesithombe leso ngesikhathi kade kuqhaza phakathi kwesithombe sango 2014 futhi nesithombe sathubulwa ngomnyaka 2020 ke lapho ke la bathi khona ufakazi kade bebuza imibuzo manqamashima nodaba loloko lesithombe leso. Are you listening?
Thank you. And I even said, I am asking you this question not as an expert, not because you're an expert. I am asking for the general information as a police officer. You understand?
athi-ke ukubuza lo mbuzo ngoba ke wena-ke yazi ukuthi wena-ke awuyena-ke uchwepheshe kepha ukubuza ngoba ke wena-ke uyiphoyisa futhi umsebenzi wezesiphoyisa.
If you have no answer or you have no response, you can just say so.
Athi uma ngabe ungenayo into ongayikhuluma noma mthanda impendulo mayelana nombuzo lo ke kumele usho nje njalo ukuthi cha anginayo ke impendulo mayelana nodaba lombuzo awubuzile. I am listening.
So my question is because you were asked by the state. You remember this exhibit?
Bathi kade ubuzeke umbuzo ithimba labashushisi noma umshushisi mayelana nalofakazi ukhona ke lapho lombukiso kaDD. Ngiyabona sesithombe lisathe kutshengisa sona ummeli baba.
Yeah, ngiyakhumbula.
Yes, I do remember.
Then my question is, can you say, because this person,
Sorry, Madam Chair, let me talk to Mr. Banza. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
thank you. My last question, my lord, on this exhibit.
Okay.
Can you now say, because this person resembled these pictures, then it means it's the same person as this picture, same picture on the same exhibit. It was reddish when you testified about it, you remember? And we know this one was taken in 2020. This one we don't know, but it was identified as the person who resembles these facial features during the period of October 2014.
Bathi kule thubu lezi ezimbili ke khona ke udaba angathanda ukuthi akubuze ngalo ke ukhumule khona njalo ukuthi wena ke ngesikhathi ukukhuluma njalo kula uthize khona ke umbala obomvu ukhithekile mhlawumbe ubomvu kade khona kule sithombe lesi. Wathi sithombe sokuqala lesi singalana esandleni sokunxele. Uma ngabe usibhekile kwasithubula ngomnyaka ka2020. Kepha isithombe sesibili ke sona ke sithombe kade besho khona njalo ukuthi abazi ukuthi basithatha basithubula ngasiphi isikhathi noma sathu kuthathwa nini ke lapho ke. Kepha bathi lo muntu ujakana njengalomuntu kade angenile akho lapho lelikhaya naye. Manje umbuzo ukuthi ingabe uyakuvuma ukuthi lesithombe lesi esikhona ngalana ke lesi eselana la gqoke khona ke ngobe bovu umuntu wakhona ke futhi lesithombe singangeni. Lesithombe singangeni ngabe siyafana namashina lesi ngoba lo muntu okhona ke lesithombe ngabe uyafana yini?
Anginampendulo, angina-comment.
Thank you.
No, I don't have a comment.
Thank you. Thank you for the
But
honest answer.
Yeah, sorry, are you
And-
going to re-examine?
I will re-examine my.
No, I'm not done yet, my lord.
You said it's the last question.
Oh, on this exhibit, my lord.
Oh, I
said
see.
last question on this exhibit.
Oh, okay, fine.
Thank you. Thank you, my lord. Then, I just need to clarify this for the record, in case I understand it wrongly. You testified during the period of 2023, Mr. Ndlovu.
Bathi babundlovuko walathi ufakazi bakho ke ngomnyaka ka2023 ngabe iqiniso yini? Yes, that is true.
At the time when you testified in 2023, had you retrieved these pictures into the disk and into the USB that we have just presented to this court?
Bathi ngesikhathi lesi bolethu ufakazi bakho ke ngomnyaka ka2023 umbuzo ukuthi ngabe le thombe bosovele uyifakile ngaphakathi kwedisk futhi ne-USB yakho.
Ngicabanga ukuthi ubuyela ku-question engichaze kwayizolo ukuthi i-disk ngase ngiyenzile kodwa i-USB iphuma ku-backup yami ekhona e-ofisini engiyilethela.
I think I did answer to that question yesterday. I already made out the disk. No, I already printed out the disk back then. However, the USB it is coming up from my backup system, which was in my office.
Ngaze ngachaza nokuthi if ungachecka i-disk i-date eyenziwa ngayo uchecke le USB esikhuluma ngayo ine-date yakuthanga. That's the difference.
I also further explained that the date it is not the same in terms of the printout date on the disk and the printout date which was on the USB.
Okay. The disk, now if I understand it, is that your evidence was stored in a disk. Then the disk, when did you give it to the state? If you can remember, if you can't recall, it's okay.
Bathi ufakazi ukuthi wena bonke ufakazi kade ukuthubulile ngoba kade uphethe obufaka ngaphakathi kwidisk angithi manje kumbuzo ukuthi ngabe ke ithimba labashushisi walipha ngaliphi ilanga leyo disk uma ukukhumbula usho kepha ngabe ungakhumbuli usho futhi
angeke ngikhumbule ngoba incwadi yami le abasayinela khona izinto nangabe bezozilanda ayikho la.
I cannot be able to recall the date simply because of the book in which they usually sign off things when they are coming to collect them. It is not with me.
Okay, but you still remember who signed for the disc?
Yes.
And who was that?
Sergeant Mokhane.
It was Sergeant Mokhane.
Was it sealed, that disc, when you gave it to Sergeant Mokhane?
But lo disc ngesikhathi buyipha ko Sergeant Mokhane ngabe kade nisilile nivalisiseke kahle
injalo ngoba nayizolo ngeke ngachaza ukuthi iexhibit ke ngayisile.
It is so
in the exhibit back number, so it was sealed.
It is so. Even yesterday I did explain to that that when I was done with the bag, I did seal the bag, and it also has an exhibit bag number.
Okay. And then it is also your evidence that you do not know as to when were these pictures retrieved from your disk. Pictures containing exhibit DD, when were they retrieved from the disk to this photo album?
Ngabe kufakazi bakho ukuthi wena ke izolo thize awunaso isiqiniseko ukuthi ngabe izithombe lezi ezikhona la ngaphakathi kombukiso ka DD uthi bayikhipha nini ke ngaphakathi ku disk?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you don't know as to where the disk has been kept from the time when you handed to Sergeant Mokhale up till the time when these pictures were
futhi ukuthi umbuzo
transferred to this exhibit.
Futhi wona awazi ukuthi disk khona ke bayithatha bese bayibeka kuphi ke ngesikhathi lesi uqedwe ipho Sergeant Mokhane kuze kufike kufinqe isikhathi lesi kade bekhipha ke ithombe lezi noma beprinter ke ithombe lezi.
Ngicabanga ukuthi lokho ngingachaza kalula ukuthi njengoba ngichazile mina uma ngiqeda ukwenza umsebenzi wami uma bese bayisayinele angisangeni indawo lapho angisazi ukuthi kwenzekani ukuya phambili ngibe ngicela ukuthi mangabe ungibuze ngalokho okuhlanganisa mina ngoba ukuthi iye kuphi mase isayinele kimi iphumile ngiqedile ngayo wami umsebenzi usuke ngiqedile.
If I may be allowed to explain this in this content, can you please ask questions with regards to the time frame or time period in which the disc was with me? It's simply because of after I had signed off for the disc, I don't know as to where it ended nor where it has gone to. What I know about it was during the time frame the disc it was still in my possession.
No, thank you, Warrant. I accept that you don't know because it was no longer with you.
Atiyabonga futhi kwamkela ukuthi wena awunalo ulwazi ukuthi ngabe yini enzeka ngoba kade ngekho nawe ke idisk yakho.
Ngiyabonga.
Thank you.
Mr. Warrant Officer, I know that you are not a facial identification expert, but you have been a police in the service of the SAPS for how long?
Athi-ke ummeli uyazi ukuthi wena ke awuyena-ke umuntu osebenza noma mhlawumbe uchwepheshe osebenza ngokuqhathanisa phakathi kobusuku babantu-ke lapho-ke kepha-ke umbuzo engingathanda ukubuza ukuthi ngabe uneminyaka ungaki ungaphansi kwezesiphoyisa noma usebenza njengephoyisa?
Over 20.
It's over 20 years. But my lord, my apologies. Can I want the witness to speak out loud? Don't
want him requesting.
I'm requesting him, my lord.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, cishe about 20 ngikhumbula kahle.
I think it's around 20 years. I can't remember exact.
Okay. The question I'm going to ask it because you have just been a police officer generally over the period of 20 years. In your experience as a police officer, do you know that the pictures are capable of being edified. I'm not sure whether I'm using the correct word, of being edited. Oh, thank you, my lord. Of being edited, the pictures. I'm not talking about your skills. I'm asking general. That are you aware that pictures, they are capable of being edited?
Athi-ke kule minyaka yakho onayo-ke noma kule sipiliyoni sakho naso ngaphansi kwezesiphoyisa, ingabe unalo yini ulwazi lokuthi iy'thombe esikhathini esiningi bavame ukuthi bazijobelele, usho ukuthi bavame ukuthi mhlawumbe lapho-ke ba-edithe-ke basebenzisa ilimi lesingisi?
Nginalo.
Yes, I do have a knowledge of that.
It does happen.
Kuyenzeka yini lokho?
Yebo kunjalo nami ngiyakhona ukukwenza.
Yes, it is so, and I am also able to do that.
To edit pictures.
Usho ukuthi ujobela iy'thombe, edit iy'thombe ngesingisi. Yes.
Thank you, my lord. I've got no further questions.
Okay, yes, any re-examination?
As the court, please. So yesterday when you gave your testimony, you indicated that the pictures where the date that you could find on the pictures is 2020. So my question to you is it the date in which the photos were transferred on the SD card, or is it the date in which they were captured with the J5 camera?
Bathi-ke malana nodaba lwey'thombe ke lezi kade ukhuluma ngazo-ke izolo kuwukuthi umnyaka kade uthola-ke lapho-ke umnyaka 2020. Manje umuzo kuwukuthi ngabe lo mnyaka 2020 yilo mnyaka benizithobula ngazo-ke nizikhipcharisha ngaphansi kwale system yenu, ngaphansi kwediski noma ngaphansi kwe-USB yenu, noma-ke ilelanga kade bethobule ngazo-ke ngalo cingo lolu lwe-J5?
Ngicela phinde question yakhe kahle.
Can you please repeat your question?
My question
Okay,
is
your question
the
correctly.
date that you gave that depicts 2019-2020 on the pictures. Is it the date in which they were captured with the camera, or is it the date in which they were transferred on the SD card?
Athi-ke phakathi komnyaka 2020 futhi no-2019 ingabe mayelana ney'thombe lezi bayithatha ngekhamera ngomnyaka 2019 noma ngomnyaka 2020, noma iy'thombe lezi shuthi ngesikhathi wena boziretriever ngaphakathi kwale system yakho-ke waziretriever ngale date evelile kuzona?
Okay. Ngicela ukuphinde ngichaze kahle lena. Le ithombe kuney'thombe okhona ukusibona uma ngabe sivela. Siyakhomba ukuthi iSamsung J5.
Can I explain this in this following manner? With regards to these pictures, if you are opening the picture, it can show you that it was taken by a Samsung or with a Samsung J5.
And then i-date le elapha ayisoze yachange ilanga isithombe esasiku-J5 esangena ngaso sayofika ku-SD card.
The date that is depicted on that said picture, it is the date in which that photo was transferred to the SD card.
Thank you. It was also put to you that you are not an official identification expert, correct?
Futhi wakutshela ukuthi wena-ke awuyena-ke uchwepheshe-ke ngaphansi uqhathanisa phakathi kobuso.
Iqiniso.
That is correct.
When you were identifying these photos on Exhibit DD4B, were you using observations or you using expertise?
Bathi ngesikhathi lesi-ke kade u-identify iy'thombe lezi ezikhona la ngaphakathi kumbukiso ka-DD4, ngabe kade ukusebenzisa ukubona kwamehlo akho noma ukusebenzisa ikhompyutha lakho yasemsebenzini?
Bengisebenzisa nje ukubona kwamehla kwami.
I was making use of my own observations.
And then from what you have downloaded in 2021 and this exhibit DD4B, do you see any fault with these two exhibits?
Bathi malana nalokho kwakuthubula-ke ngomnyaka 2021 futhi nale y'thombe lezi ngabe ukhona iphutha yini olubonayo lapho-ke?
Cha, alikho.
No.
Are these identical photos?
Ngabe iy'thombe umuntu angakhona ukuthi azibone kahle-ke futhi ayikhombe uma ngabe ey'bona?
I don't see.
What's the objection about?
I only see one photo and
No,
one
you argue that,
edit.
Mr. Ramusipiri. Otherwise, we'll never finish this case.
I'm referring, Mr.
This gentleman
Ramsipiri,
is
I'm
talking about,
referring.
wait. You're talking about identical.
Yes, DD4B as well as the
Or similar? Is it identical or similar?
or similar. Yes,
Yeah,
and
because
I'm
it's a
referring
question of
to
language, as I understand.
this exhibit in my hand. Comparing to the downloads that he has done. Mr. Ramasipil, you recall when he gave evidence, he was comparing this as well as the downloads.
Now, what are you arguing about? Because it appears both of you are arguing at cross purposes. What is the objection to the?
Let him proceed.
No.
My
I don't
initial misunderstanding or understanding was on these two images that are there to say, are they identical photos? I said, I only see one photo and one ID kit. There's no two photos.
Yeah, quite.
Yes.
I don't know if the doctor, do you see two photos there?
I was not even referring to this, my
Yes,
lord.
I said-
Oh, you're not even referring to them?
No.
Yeah. I thought all of us sitting in this court know that this is a graphic representation by Mrs. Steenkamp.
That's correct, my lord.
I thought we all know that. Now, if we're going to go up and forth, if one has been in this courtroom for 2 years and he still confuses a photograph, this is a photograph, with a lithograph, then we've got serious problems.
Yes, you're busy giving a comment. Can you proceed regarding the downloads and exhibit DD4B?
wathi ke la usakhuluma ke baba baba warrant officer Ndlovu la mala nethombe kade uyidownloadile futhi nalama exhibit la.
Engicabanga ukuthi bese ngikwenzele ngizophinde ngikwenze ukuthi mina engicabanga ukuthi umsebenzi wami ngiwenze ngokuthembeka nangobuqotho ngoba
What I can say is that I did my work with my utmost best and also trustworthy.
engicabanga ukuthi nomuntu ohleli la uzokubona lokuthi konke bengikusho bengikhuluma ngokuthembeka nangobuqotho.
And even each and every person that is seated before this court will see that I have done my work accordingly to the best of my ability
Ngoba
and also with honesty.
ngoba ebengicelwe kona ukuthi ngiconfirme lokhu abakwenzile nalokhu engikuphethe.
Because of what was being asked out of me, it was to do the analysis between what they what I was being shown, 940,
nalokhu nale CD engiyenzile.
together with the CD that I have printed out or that I've made out.
Engeke ngakungabaza ukukusho.
What I cannot doubt in saying,
Lama photo lawo maba presenter la uma ngabe sifaka in besho inamba is the same number ela kulesithombe.
what I can also further highlight to this court, it is when these pictures they were shown on the screen pertaining to the date that had appeared on the pictures that were depicted on the screen, it is the same page number that is depicted on these pictures.
Engicabanga ukuthi yilokho ebengikuzelela engikwenzile.
Of which I think that is the reason as to why I was then called to come to this honorable court and to do that work.
So lokho angeke ngize ngingabazi ukuthi kuyikho okwakwenziwe yini. Le ithombe ziphuma kule extraction ebengikuyo. Ngiyabonga.
And to that I cannot even doubt myself that these indeed these are part of my duties, no, these are part of the work that I've conducted. And thank you.
And just to also add a cherry on top, Mr. Ramasipili also admitted before this court that the photo as well as the features that you place on record are a correct representation of accused number 2.
That's not a clarifying question.
It's a re-examination, my lord. I want the witness to comment.
It's not a clarifying question. What is it, ma'am? Inshallah. What do you call it?
My lord, it's argumentative. The witness has already responded when that assertion was made by
The
the
question is
defense.
allowed because it's under re-examination. Am I correct?
That's correct,
Is
my
it-
lord.
It's
Under
evidence
re-examination.
in chiefs or cross-examination or re-examination. What is it?
Re-examination.
Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, fine. You can continue with it.
Sorry, counsel, can you please repeat the question again?
I'm saying to add the cherry on top, Mr. Ramasipil has already admitted before this court that photo 1 up to 16 is correct, is a correct description of accused number 2. There's no challenge that.
Bathi ke ummelike lapho umnumzana wesibili ke lapho uMabuntanzi usho ukuvumile ukuthi isithombe sokuqala lapho befuna kusithombe seshumi nesithupha ke lapho ke kuqinisa ukuthi lapho ke umuntu okutshela okhona lapho ke umuntu ofana ncamashi nomsola wesibili.
Yes.
Yes, I
And
hear you.
it accords with your evidence.
Bathi ihambisana futhi nofakazi obulethile.
Ngiyavuma.
I admit to that.
And then further in relation to the chain of custody.
And futhi sukuhambisana naloko ade khona ke ngesikhathi sabe khokule kuyithoma dathathiwe la ngesikhathi wasejele.
Injani?
That is correct.
Can you also clarify that in terms of the metadata that I took you through yesterday, the photos that were shown to you yesterday as per your downloads were taken with the Samsung J5?
Kwathi mina nodaba lo metadata ke ukuthi ithombe lezi kubetshengisa zona ke elangeni endlule elanga la izolo ukuthi bayithwebula ke ngocingo noma umakhalekhukhwini abambiza ukuthi J5.
Kunjani?
That is correct.
No further questions, my lord.
Yeah, okay, me, I suffer from astigmatism, meaning my conceptual vision is defective when it reaches a certain length. Angiboni kahle mangijongisisa ekudeni. That's why I put on spectacles, okay? Is there anything wrong with your eyesight, sir?
Inkosi enkantolo ithona ke uma ngabe ikhuluma ngayo ke yona ke uma ngabe ibuka ekudeni ke ayiboni kahle ke kepha uma befake ke ibuko kulabona khona ke kahle athi manje umbuzo ukuthi ngabe ikhona yini inkinga malana namehlo akho mnumzana.
Cha, anginayo inkinga.
No, I don't have any eyesight
You
problem.
don't wear spectacles.
Ogqoka ibuko zamehlo.
Hayi nginosigqoka mangisemsebenzini kodwa anginayo inkinga yamehlo.
I do put on my spectacles, eye spectacles at times. However, I don't have eyesight problem.
Okay. And then when you're driving your motor vehicle,
Moshayile moto? No, I don't put on my eye spectacles.
okay. Thanks. Like I said, me, I suffer from that. That's why I use this gadget. You don't use any gadget to read, for instance, to view or read what you see in this document, DD4A.
Hayi angisebenzisi lutho.
I'm not making use of anything. No,
Okay.
Of any gadget.
Okay, thank you. Is that it, sir? Right, with this witness.
Indeed so, my lord.
Thanks a lot so much for your assistance.
Bayabonga ke mnumzana ngesikhathi sakho futhi ngosizo lwakho manje ungakhuleka ungahamba.
Officer Ndlovu.
Ngiyabonga inkosi enkantolo.
Thank you, Your Lordship.
My lord, it's 11:21. Can we take the normal tea break? We try to line up another witness. We just want to communicate with the witness.
Okay.
What does your day-to-day duties entail?
Entails analysis, downloading and analysis of cell phones,
ingaba ke umsebenzi wakho ke wamalanga amalanga uyini ke ucwaninga kanye futhi ke nokudownloada ona ke ama cell phones omakhalekhukhwini.
Is it also correct that you gave evidence before this court?
yes, I was before the court twice already.
Ingaba kuyiqiniso yini ukuthi usuke wathula ubufakazi ke phambi kwayo lenkantolo yebo kuyiqiniso ke amahlandla amabili?
Is it correct that you gave evidence on the 1st of August 2023?
I'm not so sure, but it can be correct. I'm not sure about the dates.
Ingaba kuyiqiniso ukuthi wethula ubufakazi zi-1 August 2023 angiqiniseki ke ngayo ke i-date kodwa kungenzeka ukuthi kuyiqiniso lokho.
And then your qualifications as well as career history appears on the evidence of that day.
That's correct.
Nokuthi ke uqeqeshwa ke owakutholayo kanye nomsebenzi wakho ke nemisipilisi sakho kukhona ke kubufakazi bangalelo langa yebo kuyiqiniso.
And then on that day you also read through an affidavit that you made in terms of section 212 of the Criminal Procedure Act 1977, correct?
That's correct.
Nokuthi ke ngalelo langa lelo ke kune statement sakho ke owasifunda ke ngaphansi kwakhe komthetho u21 noma statement i212 kuyona ke isipike ka 1977 yebo lokho kuyiqiniso.
Just to contextualize your evidence, can you read what is written on paragraph 6.1 of your affidavit?
6.1 say Samsung GT E2220 number 072 766 8169 IMAI 3597 9605 0297 902 IMSI 655 0122 49151373 and a memory card that belongs to Mtobisi Gadla Nube linked to Phosphorus case 636-10-2014 as directed by Colonel Geninda. Pictures identified, retrieved, and as instructed as follows.
Thank you.
6.1 ufundeka ngale ndlela ke 6.1 i-Samsung i-GT E2220 i-number 0727668169 i-IMEI u3597 96050297 i-IMSI u655 0122 49151373 kanye ke ne-memory card ekuyeka Mthobisi Gadla Mncube umsolwa ohlanganiswa ke no Phosphorus case 636-10-2014 nanjengoba ke ngatshelwa noma yalelwa ke uyena uKenneth Gininda ithombe zase itholakala ke nanjengoba ngatshelwa.
My Lord, the affidavit was previously admitted before this court as Exhibit S. Furthermore, today the witness will testify in relation to a new exhibit. We have made a copy available to the court. We have with an exhibit number Exhibit SD. Before court, we have already Exhibit SABC. D. Yes. The exhibit comprises of 4 pages, my lord. It's a single picture. Court, please. Do you have a copy of that exhibit before you?
Yes, I have it.
Yebo nayo ke icopy yale exhibit ke sekhona ke exhibit uSAB no C ke phambi kwenkantolo lona ke kuzoba uexhibit SD.
Can you then tell the court what is the source of that exhibit?
There's a picture.
The source, where does it come from?
It comes from a memory card.
Ungatshela ke inkantolo ukuthi isithombe lesi sibuya kuphi ke sibuya kwi-memory card
which was on a Samsung GT E2220.
I-memory card leyo ke eyayingaphakathi ke kwe-Samsung i-GT E2220.
I also tried to beam the exhibit on the monitor there. Thank you. Can you now proceed to then place on record what is depicted on Exhibit SD?
It's a picture of a gentleman with dreadlocks.
Lesi ke isithombe ke somlisa onama dreadlocks.
I will say with a smile on him.
Nokuthi ke futhi ke usmileleke umlisa lo.
Wearing a t-shirt, it's brown, black, and blue.
Nokuthi ugqoke futhi ke iskipa esinombala brown, o black kanye no blue.
And then what else do you observe?
I can see on his teeth there's some gold.
Ngiyabona ke emazinyweni akhe kunegolide ekhona.
And then on the second page
is the same picture.
Kwipage elandelayo ke kuseyisona isithombe leso.
That was actually all this 1, 2, 3. About 4 pictures come from the main picture, which is darker.
So you see, the other pictures are coming from. Okay, zonke ke lethombe lezi engimangiyibala ke zibuya ke kuzisike isithombe ekuyisona esikhulu sona ke uma usibhekile ke asikhanyike kufana nezinye ke ukuthi mayisibiza ke ukuthi sona ke singathi siba darker.
Now I am more interested where you say you're observing a goldish part. Just take your time, describe to the court where is it exactly situated. If you so wish, you can also go to the screen so that you can be able to see.
Just a clarification, there is not an objection, Pastor. I think the state needs to be very specific. This witness does not say, I'm seeing a goldish part. He says, I see in his teeth there is gold. I prefer that the same terminology that is being used by this witness should be followed so that there's no misunderstanding.
Okay. Where you see the gold.
Kumele bethi ke umshushisi akakusho ke ngalendlela ufakazi akusho ngayo angathi ke la uthi khona ke kunendawo egold ufakazi ushilo wathi kune golide emazinyweni akhe.
On the upper, is it jaws? I'm not so sure. I'm not good on what teeth is it, but from the right hand side, I think the second teeth look goldish.
Angi nesiqiniseko ukuthi kubizwa kanjani ke kodwa ke kula ngaphezulu ke ukusuka ke kuhlangothi la ngakwesokudla ke wesibini uma usuka ngakwesokudla ila kune gold khona.
Sorry. This evidence has been traversed, so I mustn't be accused of giving evidence. There's a dentist who gave evidence here, right?
Indeed so, my lord.
According
Yes.
to his evidence, he says there are 4 quadrants in a jaw.
That's correct, my lord.
At the top, there are 2 quadrants. One is on the left, one is on the right, and then on the lower jaw, the 3rd one and the 4th one. Before you proceed, am I quoting that evidence correctly?
That's correct, my lord.
So when you say, you can use whatever language you want to use. I'm just saying we've had evidence about how a jaw is structured in dental terms. Were you there, Mr. Nguman?
Yes. I remember that.
Ms. Mtololo, am I correct?
No, my lord, the doctor never testified about accused number 3.
You see, now we're talking about another thing. I'm talking about dental language.
On the copy.
How, my daughter?
But you know what?
Must we fight about everything? Okay, forget what I said. Use whatever language you want. Sure.
think let's try to use a simple language.
Yeah, fine.
Yes, let's try. The goals that you see, is it on the upper or in the lower side? This
Asizama
jaw.
ukuthi ke sisebenziseke ulimi ke kuzwakalayo kumuntu wonke. Igoli lide lena oyibonayo ke ingaphezulu noma isezantsi.
I said on the upper jaws, right upper jaws.
Ngitheke ngaphezulu ke uhlangothi la ngakwesokudla.
I can say from the what I can see, the second teeth from the right of his mouth.
Engakusho ke ukuthi ke mazinyo lesibili ke uma usuka ke ngakwesokudla emlonyeni wakhe.
Okay. Because I want you to describe this sufficiently. There's the front ones, the two ones in front. And then there's the second one from the two front ones. So I'm trying to avoid that dental language. So when you say the second one, are you counting the two front ones?
Okay, from where his mouth ends. Yeah. I count for the teeth that is visible,
Okay.
that I can see. So if I look, I say one, and then I say the second one. I'm not sure if it's clear, but
Okay,
I
yes.
don't know this language, doctor's language or dentist.
La umlomo wakhe ke uphela khona ngisho lana ke abonakalayo uma ngibala ke ngizobala ke ngithi amabili kodwa ke ulimi leli ke noma ilanguage esebenzisayo ke yabo dokotela yona angiyazi.
Okay.
As it please the court, my lord. This is just a clarification.
No, Mr. Babas, Mr. Nisi.
Yes.
Let the witness give his evidence.
Yes.
You want to clarify the evidence of this witness now?
Because
So-
I want to follow his evidence.
Yeah, fine. But
Yes.
you'll clarify it, cross-examination, no problem.
Okay, good.
Let him give his evidence. That's the procedure.
As the call, please. Mr. Mabas, I know I'm asking a lot from you. Can you just go to the screen so that the accused can see as well? When you said here, where are you referring to? Just try to stand on the side, use a pen.
Okay. This is my right side.
Take the mic, Mr. Jonas, to him, please.
From my right hand, where his mouth ends, there.
Isandla sami sanga sokudla la umlomo wakhe uphela khona ke noma ugcina khona la akhombe khona.
When I count the teeth that I can see, which are visible to me,
Uma ngibala ke amazinyo la mina engiwabonayo
I said 1, 2. Then I'm referring to this one.
ngabala ke amabili manje ke can you point again ngikhomba can you point again ileli ke engikhuluma ngalo lela likhombile.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Now I see these pictures. It's one picture, but it appears on different lights. Can you explain to the court the process in which you use to shade them with different lights?
Ngiyabona ke isithombe esodwa kodwa ke kunama line ke ahlukahlukene uma ungachaza ke uhlela noma indlela wenze ngayo ukuthi ke abe khona ke kulama lines ahlukile.
I used a simple snapping tool from the computer to cut from the original picture to different pictures that you see on my exhibit SD.
Kuloko kubonaye ke kuyena exhibit SD ekuyena lona ke ngisebenzisa ke abakubiza ke noma ukubizwa ngokuthi ke i-snapping tool kuyona ke i-computer yami ukuthi ke ngikhathe ke kuona lama lines ahlukahlukene owabonayo.
Then once I have cut that into this page, I brightened it or lightened it to be more clearer using the office word.
Office Word. Ngitheke sengikwenzile ke lokho ukuthi ke aqhameke noma ke akhanye ngenza ke ukuthi ke akhanye ngisebenzisa okubizwa ngokuthi i-Office Word.
And then who prepared this document?
I prepared the document as requested.
Imina ke owabe sehlanganisa ke i-document leni nanjengesicelo noma nanjengoba ngangiceliwe.
Who requested you?
The request come from the state via the investigating team.
Isicelo ke sasibuya kuona ke umbuso ke ukwenza lokho ngethimba eliphenyayo.
And then do you know from the investigating team who contacted you?
Yes, I know, Sergeant Mokgoatlheng.
Ngaba uyazi ukuthi ubani kwithimba eliphenyayo owaxhumana nawe? Yebo ngiyazi, uSergeant Mokgoatlheng.
Do you know the date in which you received the request?
Yes, the 2nd of February 2025.
Ngaba uyazi ni date wathola ngayo lesi sicelo? Yebo, kwakungeyi-2 zika February 2025.
And then did you then authenticate that photo with the set of data that you had in your position?
Which one?
Let me ask it differently. How does it compare to the set of data that you had in your position?
The set of data, which one? This one?
I'll show you the original set of data, and then look at the screen again. And then it's appearing on that bundle of evidence as well on page 4. The downloads. Let me just avoid the set of data. The downloads.
Or this picture comes from the downloads that I analyzed before.
Isithombe lesi sibuya kuona ke ama downloads ngenza ke ucwaningo kulona ngaphambilini.
Now, another clarification, madam. Now, I don't know which picture this witness is referring to.
The same picture, Mr. Mnisi, the one that is on the screen, the one.
What is the exhibit number then?
Exhibit SD.
SD?
Yes.
But this is what is numbered exhibit SD.
Yes, it's still.
This is also exhibit SD.
Yes.
Can you come back after 2? Because there's confusion. 2 o'clock. Consult with whoever you want to consult with.
There's no confusion, my lord.
Hello?
There's no confusion, Mr.
No,
Minister.
there is confusion. He's testifying, you are leading him, he's asking questions and clarification. But am I not seeing that?
Okay, you can just assist Mr. Minister with the exhibits, my lord.
Yeah, do so. So that if you have assisted him with the exhibits and what you want this witness to testify on, then you can call me. I'll come back at 2.
Downloaded or retrieved from the memory card.
Lesi ke isithombe esisezansi isona ke lesi isona ke isithombe ekuyisona khishwa noma ke downloadwa ke kuyona memory card.
The file name of the picture was Gadla Njenene.
ibhaliwe ke lapha khona ke file name ubhalwe Gadla Jenene.
Path, it's memory card, photo.
The memory card is isithombe or photo.
File size is 4,43 KB.
Bese kuthi ke size we-file ke u-43,43 KB.
File format JPG.
Uhlobo ke
JPEG.
Sorry. Uhlobo ke we-file u-JPEG.
Can you explain, before you move, can you explain what does JPEG mean?
JPEG means the format of the camera of the phone.
Lana ke ukhuluma JPEG ikhuluma ke noma ke ichaza isho yona i-camera yomakhalekhukhwini noma yefone.
Yes.
Created, it says 2014 0902 163200.
Lana ke bese ithi ke uplate okanye ukwenziwa kwayo ke 2014 0902 1632.
What does the date and the time there symbolizes?
Is the date and time when the picture was taken.
Laphayana ke ilanga ke kanti futhi nesikhathi isithombe lesiya esathwetshulwa ngalo ilanga lelo kanye nesikhathi.
Now let's move to page 5.
Modified, it says 2014 or 716 21 00.
So interpreted when you say can just explain modified.
Can you explain what is modified
Just explain modified.
so that it can be interpreted once?
Modified, it can be, it's a date where the memory card was moved to another device or otherwise.
Uma isho lana ke modified uma lo. Sorry, just sesijule kwesinye ke isithombe. Mayikhuluma ngaye ke la bhalwe khona ke modified kusho ukuthi ke ila khona ila khona isithombe lezi noma ke i-memory card yase ikhishwa ke indlulisela kwesinye noma ke omunye umakhalekhukhwini. 2014 1607 isikhathi 2121.
Assessed, it says 2015 02 06 0000. Accessed is when the picture was accessed
Sample.
by like the user
Okay.
of the phone.
Alright. Lana ke uma ngabe ke umsebenzisi noma lo wasebenzisayo ifoni ukuthi ke engena kusona noma ke esibhekayo esibuka 2015 06 isikhathi 0000.
Now just to refer back to your page 2 of your affidavits.
I don't know.
Just again, the read and a memory card that belongs. Can you place that information on record?
And a memory card that belongs to Mtobisi Gadla Nube.
Lana ke u6.1 ifundeka ngalendlela ukuthi ke i-memory card kwakuyeka Mthobisi Gadla Ncube.
And now, on page 4 again, can you then confirm that this picture that we see now on page 4 is the original picture as it was downloaded?
Yes, I confirm it was found in its origin as it is from the memory card.
Isithombe lesi-ke masibuyela ke na-ke upage 4 isona-ke esatholakala kuyona i-memory card. Isithombe lesi-ke esivelile ngaphambili page 4.
Thank you. And now, just for the record again, page 1 to page 3 is still the very same picture that is depicted on page number 4, the original photo.
That's true, it's the very same picture.
Uma ubheka le ithombe ku page 1 ke u page 2 page 3 kuseyilesi sithombe ke esodwa ke esikhona ku page 4.
And it's page 4 of exhibit SD, correct?
That's correct.
Uma ngaye ke ku page 4 wakhe ke exhibit SD.
Other than to zoom in and out on exhibit SD on page 1, 2, and 3, did you do any other thing on this photo?
No, nothing else was done, like in a form of editing, anything, nothing else.
Akukho nje okunye ke ngakwenza ke kusona ke lesithombe ukuthi ke ngishintshe noma kwenzeke nje okunye ngaphandle kwaloko bengikushilo ngaphambilini ukuthi ikona engakwenza.
And then, since you have testified in this court on the 24th of May 2024, have you given evidence in any other court after you were excused?
Yes, I did give evidence. Even today, I'm from one court.
Ingaba emuva ke wethulo ukuthi kothula ubufakazi bakho ke kule nkantolo ngazo i-24 zika May 2024 khona yini la owethula khona ke ubufakazi kwenye inkantolo? Yebo, nanamuhla ke bengibuya enkantolo.
Which court?
Johannesburg High Court.
Ngibuya ke inkantolo ephakeme yaseGoli eJohannesburg High Court.
I just want to confirm once more the metadata that you placed on record on this phone. Is it still the same metadata that is also on the screen? You can just use the laser. My lord, what is on the screen is part of exhibit SD on page 4, just appearing on a color.
That's correct. It's the same.
Bheka ke imininingwane elana ke kwi document le ayiphethe ukuthi ke kuseyiyona ke akukho okushintshile.
Thank you. Just with the, I want to try this again with the laser light. If you'll be able to point out the part that you were trying to demonstrate to the court. Just try with the laser light where you said you saw a gold. From where you are.
Khomba ke laphana ke ila athi khona ke igolide ikhona.
That is on page 1. And then the bottom picture on that page again, just once more.
Khomba 40.
Then on page 2. Okay. Just point again so Cancel can be able to see. Just try to put it still there. You can just go closer.
I'm older.
Which one is pointing?
Sorry, is that the laser light you're using?
Yes.
And you're pointing it at what?
At the teeth.
And
Yes, you know.
at the teeth. So what is there at the teeth?
The question was, I should point where I said there's a gold.
So you're pointing at what you see as
As a
gold on the
yes,
teeth.
That what they say as a gold is.
Okay.
La ngoba khona ngokombuzo ukuthi ke angikhombeke la engithi ke igold ikhona ke yiwo lokho engikhombayo.
And then lastly, on that picture,
Nakulesi sithombe lapha ngikhomba khona.
and then is it still visible on page 3 as well?
Sabonakala nala. Yakhomba.
Thank you, my lord. That's all.
Yes, cross-examination.
Please the court, my lord. I've got instructions from Mr. Mngube that before I commence with my cross-examination, he has got a request to make before court. And if that request is not been acceded to, then I should bring a formal
What
application.
request is that?
I am saying,
Yeah.
Mr. Mngube instructs me that before I commence with the cross-examination, he's got a request through me to make to this court, and that in an event that that request has not been acceded to, then he would request me to make a formal application.
What's the request, sir?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, my lord. He is requesting that even before I start to cross-examine this witness, that he be allowed the opportunity to be taken to a dental surgeon for dental examination based on this late information that the state is coming up with now. He requested that if the state were to take him to a district surgeon, he will also request the permission from this court that he should also be allowed to be examined by a private dental surgeon, which he would try by all means to pay from his own pocket. And I fully agree with him in that regard, my lord, because this is information that simply comes in the process. When the case has gone on for almost 2 years, then we are confronted with a picture of this nature. We are unable to proceed with the cross-examination pending the investigation of the authenticity of what is being beamed there and of what accused number 3 is being confronted with.
Ngaphambilini kokuthi ke ngingahloma imibuzo ke nayo lofakazi ngitshelileke noma ngicela ke yena umnumzana uMncube ukuthi ke unesicelo kodwa ke kuleso sicelo uma kuwukuthi ke inkantolo ayivumelani naso noma iyasinqaba ke ukuthi ke ngisenzeke isicelo ke phecelezi ke ngokuthi ke ngenze isicelo noma i-application eformal ukuthi athathwe ke ahanjiswe ayohlala nodokotela udokotela osebenza ngawo ke amazinyo ukuthi ke abe ayombheka futhi ke enze ke nokuthi ke kube nalophenyo olwenziwayo ke nokuthi uyimisele futhi ukuthi ke aye kudokotela oyimele yena ke azothi amkhokhele ngemali ephuma kuyena. Umele uthi naye ke futhi ke uyavumelana ke naso leso sicelo ngoba ke icala seliqulwe isikhathi esangeminyaka emibili manje ke umbuso uza ke nalobufakazi lobu balesi sithombe.
He further says, my lord, that I should mention that he does not think, and I share the same sentiment, that this request would have a prejudice and on either the state or my colleagues on the side with regard to the time or the term that is going to be said that that application will be of a time-wasting nature. This is a genuine request that is going to do to the core of his defense.
Okunye futhi uqhubeka ke angicebeke futhi nalapho ke engivumelana ke naye khona ukuthi ke lesi sicelo lesi ke akacabangile ukuthi ke isicelo ke esizothi ke sidicilele phansi ke noma ke uhlangothi lombuso kanye futhi ke nabanye abameli ngokumayelana ke nesikhathi leso isicelo leso ke esizothi ke sibe sifakwa ngaso nokuthi ke kuzaba ukuthi kube uchitha noma ke ukuhambisa isikhathi uma efaka leso sicelo leso.
This is based, my lord, simply on his understanding that will come up when I start to cross-examine Mr. Mabasa here. But suffice it for now that he requested me to bring that request to the court, my lord.
It's an application or a request?
I've said it's an application which I understood to have been, actually it's a request for status which I understood to have been an indulgence, my lord. But failure which, then I'll have to bring a formal application.
What does the law say? Does it say a litigant can ask or make a request? I just want to understand, that's it. Is it a request or an application? Because as it is, we have a witness who's supposed to be cross-examined.
Yes.
You're making an application that it should not be cross-examined until that request, as you say, is complied with.
Yes, my lord.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Let's hear Mr. Ramusipidi.
May I approach in the meantime, my lord?
As it pleases the court, my lord, from my perspective, I would not object, given the late disclosure of this photograph that depicts Mr. Mngube with what appears to be a gold tooth on the upper quadrant of his left jaw. And given...
So you support the application?
I'll support the application, my lord.
This is my lord. I do support. I support the application, my lord. Thank you.
Yes, my
lord. I support the application, my lord.
Doctor,
There's
an application. What is your view?
We oppose to the application, my lord. Yes, I mean, we are busy with the state case now. If then it is the version of accused number 3 that he did not have a gold tooth, then he must put it to this witness. And then if he wants to have that done, he will do it during his case.
Is that what the law demands?
That's correct, my lord.
No. You see the problem with this case, with this court, people talk about the law, they don't quote it. Me, when I talk about the law, Mr. Ngumalo, as you know, I quote it. And this application, I'm prepared to listen to it. But, the law says, if you are bringing an application, Ms. Mshololo, Ms. Ramusipidi, you know that. You must bring an application supported by law. In South Africa, the law which is applicable in civil matters, criminal matters, starts. The Constitution says we can even listen to the laws in America, Australia, France, Germany, Canada. As long as that law, we don't have it in South Africa, we can utilize even foreign law because our Constitution allows us. And further, because we were colonized by the British and at some stage also by the Dutch, we've got Roman Dutch law which is applicable in South Africa, and we also have British or English law applicable in South Africa. So I want to listen to that application supported by the law. I'm not against anything. Me, I'll never make a request which comes from wherever without me saying, like when I was telling you what the law says about inadmissible evidence. I read it, here it is. And then the law is quoted. And I quoted South African law, State versus Arcats 1946, 71 to 78, Watermeyer. Then I quoted State versus Mpanza, 1915 AD 348 to 352, and Art versus Torpedo, 1920, 58 to 62. I also quoted R versus Matthews and another, 1961 SA 752A. I even quoted that law, State versus Watermeyer, 1972, 2, which I gave you the citation of all of you. So I don't have a problem there. Mr. Mnisi can bring his application and quote the law to me, and if we don't have that exigency in South African law, he can go to Canada, he can go to Australia, he can go to Germany, he can go to the United States and quote that law. And you know, I did a case the other time. It was concerning two youngsters. Apparently, it was alleged that they are members of ISIS and they were trained in Syria, and they sabotaged Jewish premises and shops in South Africa. But that law was predicated on the United Nations Council's laws. It wasn't based on South African law. And some of the councils there brought me law which pertains to decisions of the International Court of Justice and decisions of the Security Court pertaining to South African law, which was domesticated in order to apply to South Africa. So there's no problem about that. How do you see it? Because you are saying it's not done. What? You also must come with citations that it is not done. It's not enough to say it is not done. You must tell me in terms of this case, this is what Sobukwe said. That as a quero. And then this is what Mandela said, etc., etc., etc. No problem. But you can't just stand up in court and say you're making an application, because this court wants to be educated. If there's some law I don't know, I would gladly want to be educated on it, because I've done 55 years of criminal law in courts throughout this country. It's a unique application, this. I've never ever had it. And I'm not saying it's not sustainable in law. Okay, can you interpret that?
Inkantolo iseyinikeza ke abameli ukuthi ke basho ke ukuthi bona ke basibona kanjani basho ke abameli ukuthi ke bahambisana naso isicelo lesi. Umbuso wona ke wathi cha uyasinqaba ke isicelo leso, izathu ke abanikeze ngaso ukuthi ke kuseyibona ke manje abasahola ke ubufakazi uma kuukuthi ke uyaphikisana noma naloko ufakaza kushoyo ukuthi wawunalo ke izinyo legolide. Lokho ke ngakusho kufakazi noma ke uma sekufike isikhathi sokuthi uzokwethula ke wena ke ubufakazi, yilapho na ke manje usungathi ke usuyacela ukuthi uhambe ke uye kuyena ke udokotela loyo ayokwenza ke ucwaningo lolo. Besiqhubeka ke inkantolo ithi kona konke okwenzekayo enkantolo akusiyona ke indlela ke yokwenza ukuthi nje umuntu asukume noma umbuso noma abameli athi ngifaka lesi sicelo use ukuthi na esekusenike ufundile umehlulela incwadi leyana bekade iphakamisileke ukuthi iyona ke ebaholayo eshoyo ukuthi uma ngenza lokho noma ke uma ngenza lesi sicelo ngenza ke ngaphansi kwalomthetho. Uthi ke awukekho ke umuntu amnqabelayo ukuthi akwenze lokho, kodwa uyimisele ukuthi ke inhlangothi zombili kubashushisi nakubameli ukuthi baze ke nomthetho, basho ukuthi ke umthetho usho kanjena, kodwa hayi ukuthi nje umuntu asukuma athi ngicela ukwenza lokho.
Okay, so when do you want to launch the application, Mr. Mnisi?
I'm not certain, my lord, because
how many days, how many weeks you want? This court is very amenable.
Let's come back on the next week, Monday, my lord. Yes.
So what is it?
Yes. Next
What is
week,
today?
Monday.
Thursday, my lord. So Monday, today is Tuesday. Monday is a public holiday. We're observing the Youth Day, so we'll come back on Tuesday.
Is that enough for you, sir?
I think that will be more than enough.
Is that enough for you, Mr. Ramsey? Even you also. You are saying you are supporting the application. You must bring your own heads of arguments. Mr. Ngumalo, Ms. Jololo, supported by authorities. You can have recourse, like I say. What section is our constitution? Section 20? What? Doctor? Which says you can quote international law? Our constitution?
Yes.
Do you know that?
Okay, yes, my lord. We'll be ready to argue the point on Tuesday as well, my lord.
I'll give you 2 weeks because I know what it entails. I read, for instance, you can ask this gentleman. If he fetches for me, ask him. English authorities on points which I go through when I have to address you guys. Like this, I quoted an Australian case. So I'll give you 2 weeks so that nobody says,
No, my lord, there's recess. I think Tuesday we'll be ready to address the court with even international authorities.
Is it enough Tuesday, everybody?
It's enough, my lord.
Enough?
Yes.
Okay, we'll postpone to Tuesday then. What will be the date?
17th of June.
Of June, fine.
So we are going to 17 kulungiselela abameli nabeshushisi ukuthi benze lesi sicelo lesi.
Okay.
In the calling problem, the witnesses is available?
Yeah, that's the point. No, but will you be available? Maybe they are going to take the whole day addressing this court on the law. Are you with me? They're going to address and Mr. Ramosipidi, Mamalo, and Ms. Mshololo, they are also going to address, and thereafter you have to respond, right?
That's correct, my lord.
And thereafter they have got to reply. Is that how the law works in South Africa? So there will be an address, a response, and a reply. Is that so?
That is so, my lord.
Fine. That's why I say maybe you won't even be called upon to. Then this court, after that, has got to read the response, the reply, and the application and come with an order. Okay? So maybe it's unfair on the witness to come, unless you want to listen to the arguments, fine, no problem. But I don't think, on the basis of what I'm anticipating will happen, you will be called to, because the decision can go either way, I don't know. It may be that Mr. Mnisi comes with a law supporting what he says should happen, then we will have to adjourn, then a dentist has got to be instructed, etc., 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 etc. Maybe the state also would want to instruct their own witness, who happens to be either a dentist or whatever, to consult with him. That's how I think it works. That's why I say this period is short. Aren't you going to want to consult with your own dental? Because this is unusual. Here, the accused wants to cross-examine this witness because he says this evidence was never anticipated. And if it wasn't anticipated, maybe the state also wants to instruct its own dental. And I've been sitting in this court for about 2 years. I remember it took us 1 year to listen to the evidence of a ballistic expert called by the state. You remember?
Mangena, yes.
Not Mangena, Peters or whoever.
Oh, Peters.
Remember, the first one, they said he's in Italy or Uganda or whatever. Then ultimately, the second guy became available. It took us a year, Mr. Muhammad. Am I correct, sir?
Yes,
Took us 1 year, minimum.
minimum.
Yeah.
So, my lord, the witness can be excused for Tuesday. We'll come and argue, and then
Then you let him know.
we'll let him know.
Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, then we shall adjourn until Tuesday then.